Poetic beats. Poetic beats.
This is First GenXers.
Poetic beats. Poetic beats.
Hello, y'all, and welcome to today's edition of Le Cheap Pop Podcast. We are once again down, at least for this part of the show, from the Saint. So we're just going to kick it off with me and Rune Scryer here. What's up, bro?
Hey, how we going?
All right, let's dive into what should be a fun day of discussion about some of the top subjects.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of stuff to go over.
Why don't you go ahead and kick us off, bro?
All right, so it's been a bad past couple weeks for Microsoft Xbox, as both Target and Costco are pulling Xbox stock off their shelves and will no longer be selling it. Well, we've got some bad news and some good news. So the bad news is coming out of Redmond, Washington, is that the next gen Xbox console is going to probably cost around $1,200 to $1,500, $1,200 to $1,500. Okay, that's because of tariffs, trade uncertainty. But here's where the good news comes in. When we've been covering the Microsoft issues these past couple weeks, one question that's been on the mind is, how is Xbox going to compete with PlayStation at this point? Especially since now exclusives have essentially almost gone out the window, with the defining Xbox game Halo is coming to PlayStation. PlayStation exclusives are coming to Xbox, and back and forth. Yeah. Well, the rumor coming out. Oh, and also apparently, also coming out of Redmond is that Microsoft is demanding a 30% profit margin off of the Xbox division, where the industry average historically for profit margins for video game consoles is 17 to 22%. So that is absolutely unsustainable.
Yeah.
Until this last little bit of information. And here's the good news. The rumor is that, and this was coming right after the release of the Xbox Ally, the handheld, that the next generation Xbox console is going to be a hybrid. It's going to be a video game console, and it's also going to have features of a PC in there where you'll be able to use native Windows software,
Okay.
which unfortunately means that you're going to have to do internet surfing on your Xbox with Bing, but we'll see. Because the other big news is that there's going to be the inclusion of the Steam store and the Epic Game Store native in next generation Xbox.
Even
So,
when Xbox disappoints you, they find a way to keep you going.
yeah,
Maybe.
exactly. Yeah. So this is the sugar on whatever they made the cake out of. Um, you'll be able to play your Steam library on the next iteration of Xbox.
Okay.
Allegedly, we don't know. We'll probably have a big announcement
That would be huge.
at next year's Xbox Developers Conference. The next console is currently slated for 2027 release. That's a year after the scheduled release for the PS6.
Okay.
So
When did we get the PS5 and the Xbox Series S?
I don't keep track.
2020?
Something like that, yeah.
Thinking 2020, somewhere around there. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. 2027, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
actually longer. That's normally that's a longer than normal life cycle
Right.
for a system. I still think 10 years is the appropriate time to wait in between.
Right. Dude, I've had my Atari going for 50 years now. Okay, so
This is, well,
that's my
it
life
just
cycle.
kills.
I know.
It's technology. Like I can't
Yeah.
even say this is exclusive to gaming. Like you look at cell phones, like we don't need a new cell phone every year.
Yeah.
We really don't. Wait like 5 years, then put out a new version of your
Exactly.
cell phone.
Yeah.
You know, or 40 years if you're Nokia. Anyway, those things can get run over by a truck and would survive. But
Right.
anyway, but in general, like yeah, like I like the idea of, which is where I think console gaming is heading.
Right.
Is kind of like I think this is where Nintendo is a little bit ahead of their time with the Switch. Is I think we're going to get to the point where every console has some kind of handheld accessory,
Right.
not just controller, but an actual like handheld with a screen, kind of like think Dreamcast.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone's gonna have that, and they're gonna have a box that you connect to your TV.
Right. But I think that the bigger thing is the interconnectivity with arguably competing game services. I mean,
Right.
Microsoft Game Store, they are in direct competition with Steam, with Epic. And so this is something that Sony would never, ever, ever consider in like a billion years because of their focus on proprietary.
And I completely agree with you. Like, yeah, like Sony would never do some shit like this.
So
And that explains why Xbox stays relevant despite, you know, on so many occasions, the PlayStation having the better system.
yeah, and so like I know you are super into No Man's Sky, so you'll be you're playing that on Steam. You'll be able to play your Steam account games on your Xbox.
Well, actually,
generation.
I play it on the Game Pass.
On the Game Pass.
It's on Xbox Game Pass, and I played it on my PC on Game Pass through the Xbox PC. But what I'm saying, what I like about it is this: I thought about it like this. WWE at one time, right, had the WWE Network, which was an amazing idea, a complete catalog of all old school wrestling. Plus, you had this 24-hour feed of news, of some new stuff. I thought eventually they were going to bring all their shows over to the WWE Network, start charging like $30, $40 for the app. That was the way it was going to go. It didn't end up going that way, as you can see now. One show's on Netflix, the other one's on Peacock, the other one's on, they're all over the place.
Yeah, they are.
But they, at a certain point, WWE made this move. It didn't make sense to me because they were competing with apps like Peacock.
Right.
So why merge with Peacock? Well, the WWE app at its peak, I think, had like a couple 100,000 subscribers at any given point. or at
Mhm.
one given point.
Yep.
Peacock was 4 million subscribers when WWE joined them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and so that's where I was saying I can see, because with the Xbox Game Pass and like the store and stuff like that competing with Steam, it would be a bold move for them to align themselves with the people that are their competition to have this mega service that benefits nothing but the fan, or it benefits them and the fans.
Right. And that's the thing, is it's literally the Sony Spider-Man universe versus Spider-Man in the MCU universe.
Gotcha.
Where they've realized that they make more money when they just license let the character be in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
So
make billions versus millions.
Exactly. Yeah.
100%. All right.
And so that's the thinking behind that here. It's like, yeah, we're not making, especially for Steam and Epic. It's like, okay, yeah, we may not be making, or even for Xbox, we may not be making as much money, but we're going to be picking up a larger customer base and a larger player base for our consoles for that. Because, even if the cost of the Xbox is going to go up to the cost of your average gaming PC, not everybody has dedicated space to have a computer room and a family room separate. So
a large monitor, multi-monitor,
exactly, yeah.
Oh, I'll say I'll say it like this. Here's what I like about it most is, sorry, I was going to bring our conversation back to the $1,200 to $1,500 for a console. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to lie to myself again. You guys say, Kev, why are you talking about lying to yourself? Because I lied to myself when tickets went up to the movies went up from $6 to $10. I lied to myself and said, if they ever get over $10, I'm not going back to the movies.
Yeah. Yep.
But I still go to the movies. And every now and then they've caught me paying $10, $15 for a ticket, because that's just what I got to pay in order to go see them.
Yep.
I'm just a lot more picky about what movies are. Well, I said at one time, back when I bought my original Xbox, that if consoles ever got up over $1,000, I was done. And then I bought my Xbox 360 and I paid almost $1,000 for it with all the accessories.
Yep.
Then there was my Xbox Series X, Series S and X. There's the Xbox One.
Yep.
Now we're sitting here where there's it's going to cost you $1,200 to $1,500, and I'm like,
It's it's salesmanship 101. It's the cost benefit value. Yeah.
Well, the thing about it is they've been inching up the cost on us all these years, and people still continue to find a way to pay for it.
Right.
So there's no real incentive for them to drop the prices. Old school.
It's they may go to, I don't think that they will, but back in the 1940s and 50s, people were getting a new car every year, not buying it.
Yeah.
They just lease a new car, and that's how auto sales worked. Is that salesmen had their books, they knew who the customers were, they knew what they had, and say, hey, here's the new model that's coming out this year. You want to return your old car, we'll get you a deal on the new one. So
keep you in the cycle.
Yep, exactly.
So Microsoft seems to have that down, and they seem to have a pretty loyal fan base, because even at that price tag, odds are good. If the console is slick enough, I'll probably
And like I said, this is probably going to come out more in next year's game developer conference. Right now, we've just got the vaguest sketchings of what's going on, but I like what it's indicating.
All right. So then our last hot topic. But real quick, before we jump into this hot topic, just give you a quick check and to think about it. Pop culture quiz question: in the 1974 film Chinatown, what real life Los Angeles historical event inspired the film's central conflict over water rights. I'll let you think about that. All right. So the next one is James Gunn is open to giving a fan favorite DC movie a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, what James Gunn is saying is that he's more than willing to bring this character into the DCU. He's just waiting for a script to be dropped in his lap. Well, Dave, I'm pretty sure you looked at the search, so you know exactly what movie it is.
Yeah. So we're talking about a sequel to Constantine.
Yep, the original Constantine.
2005.
Not Matt Ryan's Constantine.
Nope. Keanu Reeves. So Gunn has discussed this with Keanu Reeves, but needs to have the screenplay.
That is.
Yep. So, and he's also wanting to do a full hard R rating. And the other thing about this is that this is going to be James Gunn embracing the concept of DC's Elseworlds. In other words, this is going to be parallel universe, separate from the main DC cinematic universe.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So we will see how. I mean, I would love to see them develop this as DC Elseworlds, because I think that they missed a huge opportunity. Because if you remember back in the 90s, in the early 2000s, actually no, the later aughts is when it happened. Warner Brothers had the DC Vertigo imprint for some of their movies, for stuff like The Losers, Jonah Hex. Not great films, but great concepts.
Hey man, don't speak bad on The Losers. That movie was good. I never read the comics. I just liked the movie because of the way that they shot it. It was real flashy, bang bang.
Right. Yeah.
That type stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
but I mean, this could open up some absolutely spectacular live action films from the Elsewhere universe. I mean, Gotham by Gaslight, Speeding Bullet, where Superman's rocket crashes outside of Gotham and he gets adopted by the Waynes instead. And
that's interesting. Superman and Batman being little brothers. Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah. The Nail, where we see the DC universe without a Superman, because Martha and Jonathan got a flat tire and didn't make it to the rocket ship. So they didn't find baby Kal-El. They didn't raise him. There is no Superman.
Wow. He died on Krypton, huh?
No. We find out that he's alive. Oh. It's just he got adopted by an Amish Mennonite couple. So you've got adult Clark.
Yeah.
But
as an Amish man.
Yeah, as Amish.
That's dope.
We're just living our lives here. Nobody bothers us. We don't bother anybody else. Everything that's going on outside of the farm and outside of our community, that's on them. We don't have anything to deal with that.
That's off the hook. All right. For time reasons, we'll move forward, and I'll ask you the question once again. You had a couple minutes to think about it when we talked about that. In Chinatown, what real-life Los Angeles historical event inspired the film's central conflict over water rights?
I want to say the Mulholland Dam project.
Okay. Let's see what the answer is given to us. The California Water Wars, specifically the conflict over water diversion from the Owens Valley to Los Angeles in the early 20th century.
Right. Yeah. So I didn't know what the actual name was. I knew what they were talking about. California and Central Valley. I know about water diversion to the Southland. Yeah, I knew it was based on that in there.
All right. Well, that'll end us.
I'm hoping you didn't mean the Faye Dunaway, Jessica Lange storyline of Chinatown.
No.
What historical scandal was that based off of?
Bill Clinton. No, anyway. All right, so we'll let that take us into. Pop Culture Corner. So this time we will start out with the question as intended at the top of the segment. And that second question is, in the 1970s TV series, which 1970s TV series was the first to show a married couple sharing the same bed on network television? Something to think about. Historical moment there. All right. So, an underrated sci-fi movie is getting, from one of the best directors of all time, is getting a new stream film. Can you guess, or have you read the article?
I've read the article, and it is Elysium. Neil Blomkamp, Matt Damon project with Matt Damon in that exo frame at the end.
Very true, very true.
Yep. It was good. Yeah. I think that Neil Blomkamp, he's a good director, but I think that he's got the M. Night Shyamalan career arc where he peaks and then he falls off, and then he's going to start coming back again.
Well, let's hope. As long as, to me, M. Night Shyamalan could come back at any time. The man just has got to get.
He's been back for a while now.
I'm like, he's just got to get rid of the twist ending on every movie. Like, it works every now and then, but not on every movie.
Devil? I mean, yeah. Last Airbender was the nadir for Shyamalan. Yeah. But Devil, that was absolutely fantastic for him coming back.
And didn't Shyamalan do Unbreakable?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. The Split. Yeah.
And didn't he do those as well?
Yeah. I mean, he did Split. That was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah. James McAvoy had his best ball.
Oh, yeah.
Best. All right. But yeah, so another acceptable answer from what I heard is it's not getting a series on Netflix, but Ready Player One is coming to Netflix as of November 1st as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's as big of a underrated sci-fi movie. From what I heard, that was universally panned. Yep. District 9. Do you remember that movie?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. That one's hitting Paramount Plus this month.
Yeah. Speaking of what the hell happened to Sharkle Copley?
I don't know.
Last thing we saw him in was Murdoch in the A-Team, I think.
Damn. Maybe he made. There are some people like Mayim Bielek. She did Blossom and walked away at the top of her game. Like once the show got canceled, walked away and got her degree in neurobiology, and now she's back on another successful series, or was back on another successful series with Big Bang Theory. And I think she's still doing some shows now, but I can't think of the name of them right now. But all right. Now here's another one that's going to grab you from Netflix. They're adapting one of the best graphic novels of all time, despite 4 failed attempts. They're adapting the critically acclaimed graphic novel Black Hole by Charles Burns for a new live-action series. The project has been given a straight-to-series order and will be directed by filmmaker James Showbrun, known for movies like We're All Going to the World's Fair and I Saw the TV Glow.
Yep. I have not read Black Hole graphic novel. But published between 1995 and 2005. it's going to be kind of interesting because apparently 1970s Seattle tells the story of teenagers who contract the mysterious STD known as the bug that leads to develop grotesque physical mutations.
Yeah. Yeah, that reminds me of that joke in Eddie Murphy's, pardon my vulgarness for anybody watching, Eddie Murphy's Delirious, where he talks about AIDS and he talks about what's going to happen next. The SCT just going to make it explode. And yeah. No,
Yeah.
Eddie, it's not going to make it explode. It's just going to make you grow a third arm.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We'll see how that how that happens.
Yes. Let's see. All right. There was 3 previous tries to adapt Black Hole.
Right.
Alexandre Aja did it in 06 with something called, he was the high tension director was set to direct the film version with the screenplay by Roger Avery and Neil Gaiman, but the project fizzled. David Fincher, the acclaimed director of Seven and Fight Club, was attached in 2008, but eventually let the project go. Rick Famuyiwa, the director of Dope and episodes of The Mandalorian, was attached to write and direct an adaptation about 8 years ago, but it also stalled.
Yeah, this sounds like it's one of those projects where it's quirky, but they got to try to figure out how to make it not as quirky to reach out to the greater media audience, and also how to head off any think of the children complaints.
Yeah.
So.
And then let's see. They say here's some key factors that they say Netflix could get traction where others couldn't. Straight to series order, the series was acquired in a competitive bidding war, signaling confidence from both Netflix and production company New Regency. This green light bypasses the need for a pilot and gets the project into production quickly. Mm-hmm. The right director for the source material, director Jane Shoburn's previous films were all going to the World's Fair, and I saw the TV Glow have explored themes of alienated youth, physical transformation, and digital life, making them a suitable match for Burns' unsettling body humor.
Yeah.
And then lastly, the television format. Unlike previous failed movie attempts, a television series allows for the story's sprawling multi-character narrative to be properly developed over multiple episodes, rather than being condensed into a 2-hour film. Yeah. So those are just some of the benefits of them. I definitely think that this is something that we may end up seeing come to fruition this time around.
Now, if this gets pulled off correctly, that could be good for 2 other hard to adapt comic book series that I think would be absolutely fantastic. One of them being Chip Zdarsky's Sex Criminals, where this couple figures out that they can stop time when they are sexually aroused.
Reminds me of Ron Mahalf there.
Yeah. And the other one is a series called Insects, with instead of SECT, it's SEXTS, and it's Victorian feminist body horror about a noblewoman and her lover who get supernaturally transformed. They get the ability to metamorphose into these giant insects. They kill her husband so they can have their gal pal lifestyle while raising their son. And it's really fantastic, supernatural, Victorian Gothic, lush, and like I said, it's by Marguerite Sauvage, who is currently a rising art star in DC's stable.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sounds very, very interesting, my friend.
Yeah.
All right. So, as you all know, I've been a fan of Anne Rice for a very long time. I've talked about this before. I talked about her in the show, Interview with the Vampire. And I've read Interview and I've read The Vampire Lestat. I have all the rest on audiobook. I plan on listening to them soon. But recently, I don't know what it is. Like I asked this question a long time ago about A&E and the fact that A&E seems to be, pause, let me hold that thought there for a second. The man has joined us in the building. Wait, maybe he hasn't. Never mind. But anyway, well, say I've talked about the show. I'm planning on listening to the rest of the books. I'm completely. Well, needless to say, A&E seems to be on this kick when it comes to Anne Rice. They're doing. I think they did a show called The Mayfair Witches, which is based off of one of her books. In what's they're now dubbing the Immortal Universe. And Interview with the Vampire was the one that really like set everything off. It's the first book in the series that I read. I believe it's the first book in the series, but the show does a really good job of showing the sprawling world. But as you read, there's a new Interview with a Vampire spinoff called Talamasca, The Secret Order. For those of you who have read the original one and also some of the other books, Talamasca is a group that kind of shows up throughout the many books as this kind of secret government organization that's monitoring and keeping track of the vampires and werewolves, etc. In the whole universe. So I'll say. So Talamasca, I guess, did a very underwhelming hold. 1 second. Welcome to the show, the one and only Saint. Thank you for joining us.
Hey.
But they scored a 62% on Rotten Tomatoes, and this was following the success of season 2 of Interview with a Vampire that did 100% Rotten Tomatoes score. So, any thoughts on what could have not pissed off, but turned off some of the viewers that loved the interview so much?
What do you mean? The movie was awful.
Well, the first season was pretty good. I actually got a little bit drawn into it, just a little bit. Just like the movie, the series has some questions because they're calling it the Vampire Lestat. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
well, there is a book called The Vampire Lestat. That's
yeah,
they're fun.
I'm just trying to get it. I'm just trying to get it figured out.
For sure. Well, I believe they said here's what's different. I believe they said that the premise of the Vampire Lestat is to show what happened during the years after Louis and what was her name? The little girl. Claudia left New Orleans to go to Europe. This is supposed to show what happened to Lestat from then to when they run back into Lestat towards the end of the series at the Theater de Vampire. Or Vampire. It's supposed to cover that time. Now, here's what's different. In the book, it's just Lestat's backstory. Like it's not specifically like what happened. Like that's a chapter or two, but it's not specifically what happened. It's just literally Lestat's story, who his maker was, how he came to be, etc.
Okay.
So where I'm thinking that the show already, don't get me wrong, the show's already gone in a completely different direction with the first 2 seasons of Interview than the book. It stays true to the book in a lot of things, but in general, it stays true to the book in a lot of ways. But in general, they went their own way with it. But I explained this to Room Squire a few weeks ago when we were talking about some of the changes that they made from the book of Lestat, like not Lestat, but Louis being a black man in the South and Claudia being a black girl. Supposedly, according to Anne Rice herself, those are changes she had wanted to make in the original book, but didn't think that the audience would receive it too well if she did. So she made Louis. But Lestat, definitely the actor that played him, off the hook. But this new show, I've yet to check it out. I'll probably like it because normally once I like that style of storytelling, I happen to like just about anything that comes out with it. But evidently, the people didn't.
So wait. Hold on.
What's up?
So you're saying that she wanted the characters. She wanted the characters to be.
She originally
different.
wanted the character of Louis. I'm not sure if she said this about Claudia, but I know she said there in the original book she wanted the character Louis to be black.
Okay.
But she didn't think that would be well received at the time when she wrote the book. I'm thinking this is back in the 60s, maybe 50s. She didn't think maybe it would go over as well. This is what I've heard. This is not directly from her. This is just what.
Well, I guess written from the 60s point, maybe, but
because I don't know how long ago this book was written. I just know it was in my.
Yeah.
It was
because I need answers.
Yeah,
I need
Well,
answers.
I can see that, considering that Interview with the Vampire was published, I think, in the mid to late 70s, or whenever Stephen King really hit the market and booksellers or publishing houses were shouting for more horror content, or more highbrow horror content. So I can see that she may have wanted Louis to be black, and the publisher saying, no, we can't do that. We need to appeal to a larger audience. And she would have had to have given in, considering that the only thing that she had published previous to that brought her to the attention of publishing was what was called the Sleeping Beauty Chronicles, which she wrote under a pen name.
Gotcha.
Which was Anne Rice doing medieval fantasy S&M play.
Well, and Saint, just on the same point of that, there's also, like, if you've ever read the book, there's a lot of hinting at a kind of relationship between Lestat and Louis, but it's never outright said. Okay, if you remember reading the book, like they never kiss, like it's never, even in the original movie, it's definitely hinted at, but there's no, like, for sure. They, according to most of what I heard, what they did with the show, which was lean really into the fact that Louis and Armand, Louis and Lestat, these were gay couples, and they kind of leaned into that, but according to her, this was her original vision. This is what she saw it as.
Right.
And I still think Anne Rice vampires are better than anything out of that Twilight bitch shit. Anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree, but.
But sorry, I can't deal with sparkle vampires. I just can't.
No. I don't disagree with you there. And I'm glad my wife is still asleep so she can't hear me ragging about Twilight.
And I'm glad my daughter's in her room. No, she
made me watch all 4 of those films when we first started dating. Yep. But
I watched them by accident.
Yeah, I got her back by dragging her to an equal number of Marvel movies.
Nice.
Okay.
I'd have made her watch the first 5 Star Treks, including
Oh gosh, no, dude.
All right.
The first and the 5th one, that would be, oh my god, that's torture, bro.
I actually like the first one now. I can.
Oh, I love it too. But
now that I understand more about the difficulties that they were having on set and in special effects,
special effects weren't what they are today, were they?
Nope.
All right, so word has it that Welcome to Derry, I believe, television series, is not that scary.
Yeah. I there's a review on slate.com, and it's Slate, so give it a grain of salt. But slate.com said the only thing that Welcome to Derry really does is destroy the legacy of Stephen King's greatest creation.
Wow.
Because apparently this is a precursor to the first time, if the cycle for it begins with the Losers Club in the whenever the updated timeline is, and then ends with them as adults in the modern time. This is the cycle beforehand, where apparently the U.S. government knows about it, and this would be in the 1950s or so, and they want to capture the creature and harness it as a weapon against the Soviets in the Cold War, because, of course.
Says
Really?
It's 1962.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Really.
They want to use the. That's some.
Now we are into the inception level of creativity now.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much the whole premise behind Stranger Things.
Coincidence?
Yeah, which was based off of it itself. So now we have it being modeled after
Stranger Things, which was modeled after
a pastiche of it.
And then that takes place in the 80s too. In the 80s and the 90s.
In
Like
Stranger Things,
Jesus,
yeah.
like what it's like to me, it seems like it's monsters and government, aliens and shit like that, like XCOM and Declassified. Like what the fuck, bro?
Yep.
They get me with it every time, man.
They call themselves the Decepticons. This doesn't raise any red flags for any of you?
Oh my.
Oh
God.
yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Star S Scream. We have failed.
Scream. That's a good one there. That is a good one. Oh man. All right, let's get back to the show. All right, y'all. So I don't know. Like, here's what's funny. It was scary to me when I was a kid, like 9, 10 years old. It was scary to me.
And it was Tim Curry.
Yeah, when it was Tim Curry. Like, that shit was terrifying. It hasn't been scary to me since my mid-20s. Like, I don't even want to say it was scary to me at that point. Like, I remember rewatching the movie. I remember rewatching The Exorcist and laughing my ass off at everything except for when that little girl comes down the stairs upside down. That shit's just nasty.
I can't watch The Exorcist without cringing up at the Spinal Tap. Yeah. But did you watch the 2-part remake from a couple of years ago?
Yeah. I did. Still didn't seem scary. Suspenseful.
I thought it was a good job.
Yeah. You know what I would love to see adapted into a movie now that the human brain is becoming more adapted to the 2+ hour movie is Stephen King's The Stand. It's been done as a mini series. I believe somebody horribly did it as a movie at one point before that. But I would love to see that done as
let that shit go and let that shit get the next generation.
Why?
Bro, yeah, because look, The Stand. I mean, for what it is, but it's kind of like Salem's Lot. Okay,
if you watch the original 70s, that was frightening as hell.
Yeah, now that was some scary shit right there. Okay,
and that was a made for TV.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that was made for TV. But Salem's Lot and James Franciscus was scary as fuck. I mean, that's James Mason was scary as fuck. Okay, David Soul was the the penitent hero. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But and Fred Willard was the asshole in that game, like that movie. Like, dude,
that's right. Scary ain't scary no more, y'all. Scary ain't scary.
Yeah,
it just ain't. Not the way it used to be.
Well, now, have you seen Sinners? Now that was scary.
Yeah,
that was mentally scary.
It's kind of like Get Out.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
You go, oh my God, he's a black man in a white world. Anyway, all right, y'all. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break, or podcast promo break, as we like to call it around here, and we will get back to you in about 5 minutes. That's right, you heard me right. 5 minutes, right here on Le Cheap Pop Podcast on the First GenXers Broadcast Network.
I'm gonna take a FIVE.
Y'all got issues.
Oh, let's get to that answer about the pop culture quiz question.
Yeah.
Which was, which 1970s TV series was the first to show a married couple sharing the same bed on network television?
I'm going with Brady Bunch.
Yeah, the Brady Bunch. But
all right. The answer given to me was the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Very good.
Though Bewitched and the Brady Bunch hinted at it earlier. Mary Tyler Moore was the first major network sitcom to depict a realistic modern.
Actually, can I throw something else?
What's that?
I hate to say this, but the Munsters were the first couple to actually share a bed.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Possibly.
History is a bitch, man. Yeah. I saw the clip many years ago when Florence Henderson even dispelled it herself.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, while we're waxing nostalgic, since we didn't get it to the top of the show, rest in peace to our favorite space mom, June Lockhart.
Yeah.
Died at 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I met her a couple times at conventions, decades ago, and she was lovely, engaging, and absolutely as sweet as you could imagine she was from watching Lost in Space and Lassie.
Well, it seemed, I've said this before on the show, and I say it again. My mom said to me a long time ago, you're getting old when your childhood starts to die. She didn't mean in a literal sense. She meant in this sense.
Yep.
I've watched so many people from my childhood pass away, some way too young, others just. Betty White didn't live long enough, and she lived damn near 100 years, if not more.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and she didn't live nearly long enough. Blessings to this world are rare like that. So, All right.
Okay.
What's up, Tony Bologna? Thank you for.
Hey, what's good?
We appreciate you being out there. But we are about to, like I said, take that quick commercial break. We'll be back in 5. We pleading the 5th, and we will see y'all on the flip side. We've got what's that saying? Video games and SmackDown Alley coming up.
Yeah.
You're watching the Cheap Pop Podcast right here on Twitch. First GenXers. Peace.
This is now versus then. This is now versus then. Get on your mark, let's go. This is now versus then. Burning up your radio, still turning up the heat with Poetic on the flow. Got you moving to the beats with the Saint as your host. Shout out the collective, hold it down, we gon' clown, that's the lesson. Where Generation X meets Generation Next, with them bangers from the east to the south to the west. Yeah, this how we do it in Sacktown. Slide to the studio, yup, it goes down. These beats gon' pound, waking the game up, told you it goes down. And this is only the intro. Turn the mics on, shout out to my kinfolk. Where you at, y'all? Let's get this started. Turn down for what? We about to start the party. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. is now versus then.
Got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I've been real with this. Please don't judge me, I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep a grind mode button, push it, make it do something. No balls for me, cause I'm a loose cannon. I get to choose camera, switch it up, look up a new banner. Keep smoking on that banner.
So we're gonna get to talking some NBA free agency. The Dolphins trade Jalen Ramsey. Anyway, so we'll start out with
They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But the definition of beauty is distorted. Yeah. Come on. Searching for yourself, so insecure about the way you look, so you go to Miami. You can't find the love within yourself.
All right, so it looks like, unfortunately, due to some technical issues, not just the one I just had right there, but some other technical issues, we have lost Dave for the time being. Hopefully, we'll get him back soon. All right.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So let's jump into the pop culture quiz question for this block, and that is, it should be right up your alley, sir. In the 1971 film A Clockwork Orange, what piece of classical music becomes Alex DeLarge's violent obsession and later his trigger for pain? Let you think about it for a few minutes. If you got the answer, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. Now let's jump into this segment with
First of all, I gotta say, I like what you've done with the place. Like,
yeah.
Here, you know, I've been out like 2 weeks and like, what the fuck? Like, whoa. Okay.
We got a new pop and look. I always try to update it every few months. We'll see. You should stick around after the show. I got some stuff to tell you about KD5P. Not quite ready to bring it to Twitch yet, but I'm going to be doing some different stuff with it on Live 365. I'll tell you about it. They can find out later. by listening. All right, so this week on Monday Night Raw, I thought it was a fairly interesting Raw because we're dealing with the fallout of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed attacking the World Heavyweight Champions.
Yeah, I got questions. I got questions with that. Like, what the hell was that?
Well, do you want the kayfabe answer or do you want the non-kayfabe answer?
Well, the non-kayfabe answer is always for me. It's always
okay. So Seth is injured and is going to require surgery. So they had to find a way for him to drop the title. The word that what I've heard or read on most of the dirt sheets is that the plan was for Rollins to carry the World Heavyweight Championship, and then Braun and Bronson to hold the Tag Team Championships going into WrestleMania. And then Rollins to be facing Reigns one-on-one for the World Heavyweight Championship. But obviously that's not going to happen now, so they had to pivot and have Breaker and Reed turn on Seth Rollins now. But I like the idea of where they went with it, where Braun is really like the leader of it all. Like he's the one leading the charge. He hit the first spear. He basically looked at Bronson Reed and said, "Look, dog, either you with me or you not." And Bronson showed his allegiance to an extent. And he told Paul Heyman, either you're with me or you're in my way. And Paul said, "Yo, I ain't trying to be in your way." And raised their hands. I think there will be a turn by some point. I think Dave mentioned this last week by Paul Heyman on Braun and Braun, but we'll see. But for right now,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. What's he going to do? Come back? What's he going to do? Come back to the tribal chief? Highly unlikely.
Doubt it. Yeah. All right. We now have a room scryer in the building. Welcome back to the show, sir.
Sorry about that. Had a slight little computer flex I had to deal with.
No problem. I watched the little videos of everybody's cameras down at the bottom, and when I saw you not move for like 2 or 3 straight minutes, I was like, I hope everything's okay with Dave. All right,
it's just a crappy power plug that wall outlet circuit or power strip that I got from a specific big box store that I shall not name. I don't want to get sued.
And then also on that same storyline, we had Becky Lynch confront Paul Heyman in the back.
Oh, that was beautiful.
That Rollins will be getting his revenge once healthy enough to come back and get it. Man, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm impressed with where they're going with the storyline, despite the sudden pivot that they had to make.
Yeah, because it is fantastic. It was glorious to see Paul Heyman tap dancing for his life. Between Becky and the Bronze at the end, it was fantastic to see him sweat because he realizes he was like this close from a beatdown.
Yep. At the hands of the man.
Or the Bronze.
Or the Bronze, yep. All right. So this led us to Adam Pearce announcing that they're going to have a number 1 contenders battle royal to see who will face CM Punk. And CM Punk won the number 1 contender triple threat match. So he has his slot at Saturday night's main event locked up. And we ended up with a 20-man battle royal at the end of the night to determine who was going to be facing Punk for the title.
And that was what Paul Heyman was sweating the most about, was that Adam Pearce, after Braun Breaker made Pearce say please to get the belt back in nice. There. Yeah. Pearce said, and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, they're not in the Royal Rumble tonight.
They're not in the number 1 contenders Rumble. It's what they get. But don't get me wrong. I believe that Braun Breaker will end up being the first challenger for whoever wins it between Punk and, drumroll please,
Jay Uso.
Hit my music. Yeah, that was a fantastic ending last night. Fantastic Royal Rumble match. Great storylines in the ring and out of the ring. Really furthers everything. I was hoping that AJ Styles would pull it out, just because I'd like to see AJ Styles get one last title run before he retires. But
he's already a champion. He's just not a world champion, which he'll probably get.
He's tag team with
Dragon Lee.
Which CM Punk had the greatest thing exchange during the Royal Rumble. So is their new tag team name going to be AJ Lee?
No,
because I can be right behind that.
Hold on. That comes from a backstage segment that aired after they won the tag team titles, where Dragon Lee and AJ Styles are talking to each other, and they're going back and forth about a new name. And Dragon Lee goes, "I got it," and he's like, "What?" He goes, "AJ Lee," and then AJ Styles looks up and goes, "Nah, I don't really like that one. And besides, I think somebody else is using it," and they kind of walk off. It was kind of tight, but I'm glad to see them as tag champs. I think it's much deserved.
Yeah. Loved Dom getting tossed out of the ring at the end by main event Jay.
Yeah. Woo! So going for the 619 and just lifted him.
I liked how they ended Jim and LA Knight at the end, because they were clutching. They're both clutching onto the ropes and each other over the apron. And from one angle, it looks like Jay went and knocked both Jim and LA Knight off to hit the skirt. On another angle, it looks like Jay was actually trying to grab onto Jim the way Jim had been grabbing onto him all that night to keep him from going over and try to tap it. So it's got that uncertainty, and so great camera angle work there for the storytelling. But yeah, that furthers the mini Roman storyline for Jay.
Well, he's always got to do what's best for him first.
Exactly.
He said that the whole time. It's pretty consistent with down since day one. I genuinely thought in this match, despite the fact that they didn't, I genuinely thought there was a small chance with Seth going down that Becky was going to drop the Intercontinental title to Maxine Dupree.
Right.
Here's what baffled me about that match, though. Wasn't the match. Maxine did an amazing job.
She did fantastic.
She gave her all.
I love the fact that we are really seeing her professional development in real time on the big stage rather than NXT.
Now, the only issue that I had with this is the first time I've ever heard her build from Sacramento. And they made it a point to talk about, she's from Sacramento. I looked up her Wikipedia page. It says she was born in Arizona and currently lives in Orlando, Florida. Okay. Sacramento is not mentioned anywhere on here. So I'm like, why are they making such a big deal about her being from Sacramento? And I was just like,
I
think
think
another reason why I kind of
I think it's simply to try to build up the Bay Area.
Well, for those of you
good feelings, because Jay won the number one title shot in there, and
they missed him where he's from, San Francisco, not Sacramento.
It's just the Bay Area. Look, you're 90 miles out in the boondocks of the Bay Area, but you're still Bay Area.
Some would argue that.
Yeah. People will argue that, bro.
Yeah, but I've said it for a lot. but there are people that would argue that. But anyway, but I didn't see. I thought she was going to get the win. I'm glad she didn't, but like I said, she put up. I just didn't.
I
know
like the way that they did it though.
Yes.
Where because it does further Becky's personal storylines in there.
Very much so.
Yeah, and also furthers Maxine, helps build her up a little bit more.
More credibility.
Sad to see, it was good to see Otis and Tozawa at the Royal Rumble. Sad they got tossed out pretty easily in there. I was impressed at watching Otis and Ivar go at each other for a couple exchanges in there because these are two huge guys and they're both also very uber acrobatic.
Yeah.
In there. So that was.
WWE's always been good at finding people like that. People like Samoa Joe, people that are bigger guys, but are definitely very athletic. Very, very athletic.
Yeah.
Dirty Dom lived up to his name yet again.
Yeah.
And beating Rusev.
CM Punk on Dom was like, no, Dom is the one person I don't want to face. At Saturday night.
They call him Dirty Dom, right?
Dom, because he doesn't wash his tights.
I don't know, man. I kind of like, to me, he's kind of like right now the one you love to hate because but I will give you this much. He's athletic in his own right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, Dirty Dom, because he should be really carrying the name Mysterio, but right now, because he's not wearing the mask.
He's the first Mysterio to ever hold the AAA Mega Championship and the Intercontinental Championship.
Yep.
True. But he still ain't got no mask, man.
He calls himself King of the Mysterios.
Yeah.
Right, bro.
Yeah.
He's actually worn a mask to a couple of matches. He just takes it off.
Yeah. He's done. Yeah. He's worn his uncle's mask, is it? Yeah, the one with the question mark on.
Yeah, when he went to when he wrestled for the AAA Mega Championship.
Yeah.
Let's see. We also had the return of the one and only Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
Save of beating down Stephanie
Becker. Yeah, after Stephanie really handled Roxanne Perez very well. Lots of great pinning combo exchanges between the two of them. It's exactly what I was expecting from both of them. They both got to shine in there, and La Primera came out on top again, and then got jumped by Roxanne and Raquel.
Yeah.
And then here comes Nikki Bella to save the day.
I have to say this. Why does Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley make every other girl on the roster look like mini, but neither one of them is over 5'11"? Like, I want to say Rhea Ripley's like 5'11", Raquel Rodriguez is like 5'10".
Yeah.
But when they stand next to the other female superstars, like Charlotte Flair is like 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah.
If that,
no, she looks tall though.
But she looks like she's like 6'3", standing next to Alexa Bliss. Like, it just baffles me because it's the same thing with Raquel Rodriguez. She gets in there and she gets next to these girls, and it's like, wow, she looks like a giant. But if I stood up next to her, I'd be like 4 inches taller than her. Like, I'd be looking down at her. Like, but then again, I'm abnormally tall.
Yeah.
So,
and Bailey went back to the manic part of her manic depressive cycle. So. And she's all excited about an announcement next week for her and Lyra. And Lyra, no. Just tell me now. Don't surprise me. Just tell me now. Let me know what I can expect. Well, then it would be so much of a surprise, would it, silly?
I think I know what one of those. I think I know what that surprise is, and we'll talk about it when we talk about SmackDown.
Okay.
Well, say if it is what I think it is, based on the tweet that Bailey sent out, and what the response was to it. Well, like I said, we'll get to that with SmackDown. But in general, I thought Raw was a strong show this week. Like,
it was a good show building up to the next PLE,
which is Saturday night's main event on Peacock next Saturday.
This Saturday, actually.
This Saturday.
Yeah, this Saturday.
Coming Saturday.
Yeah.
And their big match will be CM Punk versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title. I'm genuinely thinking that this is just going to be Punk's run because I think because if not for Rollins, this Punk would currently be World Heavyweight champ.
Yeah,
So,
I think that this is kind of, it's like, Seth cashing Money in the Bank in made sense from a story point, but the fans are not feeling it. Seth is out for an interim amount of time. Let's give the championship back to Punk.
well, yeah, because and I think the match is going to be great. Jey Uso should be amazing.
Yeah,
but I expect Punk to go over either via being screwed over, Jay being screwed over by Jimmy, which is a possibility, or
I think we're going to get interference from the Bronze.
We'll see.
Yeah,
That could lay
You
out
think so?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna.
I think that they're kind of pissed off, and we'll see how tomorrow night goes for them in the backstage of the Vision's locker room. See Paul Heyman do a little bit more tap dancing to try to keep the Gorillas under control.
We'll see. All right. So as y'all know, every Friday night after every Monday night, there is the SmackDown show for which this segment is named after. And we had a great United States title match that we'll kick off with between Ilya Dragunov and Aleister Black. I'm going to say it now to all y'all haters out there calling Aleister Black and Zelina Vega the knockoff Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Stop.
Who said that?
Oh, but bro, it's all over the internet. Just check Twitter.
Wait a minute. He's the knockoff of Aleister Black is the knockoff of Karrion Kross. Like, what the fuck?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Or Karrion Kross is the knockoff from Aleister Black.
Here's my thing. I don't think they have a similar enough gimmick to call them both knockoffs. They're just big dudes with tattoos.
And
but they have kind of different gimmicks in how they handle themselves in ring and as far as outside of the ring.
Yeah.
But in general, I like it. I like the new look. I kind of wish they hadn't put him in a championship match so early through running this gimmick, because losing those type of matches does devalue the character just a small bit. But you're not having Dragunov give up the belt 1 week after coming back and winning it. Sorry.
Now
it still was a 3+ match. Go on.
Here's something for me, and this kind of gets back to the Royal Rumble. And I know that we've got the separation of the two shows and the belts and everything like that. I was actually surprised with the Royal Rumble that, with as hard as they've been pushing him, that Logan Paul wasn't a part of that.
Yeah.
I kind of think,
I can see that.
I have a sneaking suspicion that I haven't really heard much about Logan Paul. I mean, he usually just inserts himself whenever. I think that the crowd reaction to Logan Paul has not been big enough to register for creative or for corporate. And that all that's really left for Logan Paul is the long-term sponsorship contract with Prime Energy Drink.
Yeah.
That I don't think that the fans are going to be behind him at all. There's just too many guys with his shtick from Seth onwards.
Here's the deal. From the day Logan Paul was signed, he was signed to a limited dates contract. I can guarantee.
Okay.
Like Logan Paul was never meant to long-term be an every week guy.
Okay.
He's a spectacle, kind of similar to what Roman Reigns was when he was holding all the belts. He's a spectacle. He comes and he appears. He does a thing. He does a quick feud with somebody, a quick 4-week to a month feud with somebody, and then he disappears for another 5-6 months.
Yeah. I did not know that. I didn't know that was.
Well, I'm not saying that that's for sure, but that's what it seems like. Because Logan Paul, during the past 3 years since he signed his WWE contract, has shown up for a couple months and then disappeared for a few months, and then showed up for a couple of months and then disappeared for a couple of months. Like he'll probably be back. Odds are good. Logan Paul will be back in WWE by Survivor Series. You'll see him probably come back sometime after this next Saturday night's main event to set up something for Survivor Series. And then he'll disappear again until probably Mania, until shortly after Rumble.
Okay.
So, but no, I'm not saying like the crowd, but at this point in time, he's still a merch machine and is still, making that money. So, but he just doesn't have to be there every week in order to do it. But anyway, we also had the MFTs make their presence felt, beating Shinsuke Nakamura and Rey Fenix. I like the new Nakamura back. For those of you who don't remember, I made a comment to a friend of mine about this a while ago. For those of you who don't remember, when Shinsuke Nakamura was in NXT, he had a pay-per-view match against, I believe it was Bobby Roode, one of the second best entrants in all of wrestling. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. Bobby Roode, glorious, just NXT with the robe and everything. Just anyway. But it was a special one that was being done for the pay-per-view. And so, for those of you who don't know Shinsuke Nakamura's music, it's the
right
violin. They used the guy who was popular on YouTube at the time, named the Mad Violinist. Like, just had mad skills. And they had him basically play the entire intro.
Yeah, he did that
thing on his thing. I want to see that one last time because I know Shinsuke's probably retiring just like AJ Styles, probably within the next couple of years. I want to say Shinsuke's already close to 50. So he'll probably be retiring within the next couple of years. So I would love to see them bring him back for one last entrance because it was still to this day stands out to me as one of the sickest entrances I've ever seen in professional wrestling, short of the old Undertaker entrances every WrestleMania that I look forward to. The Druids, like, yeah, I look forward to that every year because every year you knew you were going to get this spectacular entrance from the Undertaker. Even when I was there live, it was an awesome entrance. At WrestleMania, that is. I went to WrestleMania. Anyway, sorry.
I don't know. Can I agree to disagree just for one moment? Because you know what, the one introduction to me, and you were there, and that was Bray Wyatt when he was waking up the when he was going down the road, and he was touching the other folks out there, the followers and stuff like that. That shit was fire.
Well, yeah, and also his entrance against John Cena in their epic feud with he's got the whole world. They just had a bunch of kids singing. Yeah, that was epic. Again, I forget the name of the guy on YouTube, but there's some guy on YouTube that's laid out basically like every major feud of Bray Wyatt's career on like a 7-hour YouTube video. It's worth a watch though. My daughter watched it over like 3 days, and it was definitely worth the watch. Like it's one of those things that caught me by surprise. She just happened to have it on in the background. I was like, "What you watching?" And then I kind of left, and I came back. You still watching it? Huh. And I sit down and watch it with her for a little bit, and then I get up, go do something else I gotta do. Come back by her. Oh, you still watching that, huh? And then one day she finished watching like the last 2 hours of it because I was just like. And he did a very good job of explaining everything. Anyway, to MFTs, I like what they're doing with them now. I think this was what was intended to happen a long time ago. If a couple of them hadn't gotten hurt and were out for a while. So now we've got the MFTs that we were supposed to have. Tiffany Stratton defeated Kiana James. And this was huge. Not because she beat up Kiana James, but because of what happened after the match.
Yeah, can we discuss that?
Which was after defeating Kiana James, Julia and Kiana James proceed to jump Tiffany Stratton. And Tiffany Stratton is saved, or at least so we thought, by Jade Cargill, who rolled up and ran off Kiana James and Julia. Only to attack Tiffany Stratton afterwards and obliterate that poor child. And they now
Oh.
actually have a match at Saturday night's main event for the WWE Women's Championship.
Yeah, if there is a word that's more, there's more, I guess, more heavier than obliterate, then we need to find that, because she did more than obliterate her. Like, it was, oh Jesus. I couldn't watch. Like she was a child of God. Like she wasn't even a child of God, bro. Like
she beat her. No, I was gonna say she beat her like Stewie did Brian in that one Family Guy episode. Where my money? Where my money? Oh man! All right. Oh man, I still can't watch that episode, especially when he starts hitting them with the golf club. I'm like, ooh, oh Lord.
Where's my money?
Where's my money?
Does Wayne Brady have to choke a bitch?
That was, yes. Chappelle Show, classic. All right, so last match of the night that took place was Drew McIntyre taking on Jimmy Uso in a no disqualification match, because Jimmy came looking for blood after thinking that Drew McIntyre attacked Jacob Fatu to get out of his number one contenders match with him.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy gave it a valiant try, as Jimmy always does.
Yeah.
But Jimmy was left looking at the lights after a Claymore again. So,
and from what I've heard, the social media was Naomi getting on social media. It's like, yo, anyone want to surrogate this baby for a little bit? I got someone's ass to go kick.
Shit, like it's gonna be insane. I think the Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes match is going to be insane. I still think it should have been Jacob Fatu versus Cody Rhodes. That's just me. I think that would have been a bigger match. But here we are with Drew and Cody giving us a hell of a feud. Cody wearing his super suit last week. He had a Drew for a little bit.
He said the super suit. Oh, man. Damn, man.
Well,
might as well just gone ahead, threw on a fucking cape. Bro.
I can't remember the last time I saw a champion come in his street clothes and kick somebody's ass. Like Stone Cold dressed in street clothes, whether he was wrestling or not, jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah,
like,
it's different between wrestling in jeans and a t-shirt and wrestling in a specially feeded, business attire. Okay.
I mean, that is kind of cool, because if you get your ass kicked by somebody in a power suit, you deserve to get beat down.
That's like the end episode of Justice League Unlimited, the animated series, where Darkseid is invading and winning and everything, and then Luthor pops back in dressed in his business. It's like, sorry, I'm late. I had to go put on my power suit.
Power suit. Maybe that's where they got it from. Power suit. All right. So that'll do it for us for Wrestling Talk for this week. We got to get to these video games. We got a stacked of stuff to talk about here. So we're going to get back to that pop culture quiz question. In the 1971 film Clockwork Orange, what piece of classical music becomes Alex DeLarge's violent obsession and later his trigger for pain?
That would be the lovely Ludwig van. And I believe it's the Ninth Symphony.
Symphony number 9.
Yeah.
There you go. One for Dave. Works for me. All right. Now we go into Tech Tinker's favorite part of the show and our final segment of the show. Well, not final. Whatever. Beat Pop game reviews. All right. One final question to boggle your mind, gentlemen. You give me your answer later. Pop culture quiz question: which 70s sci-fi television show featured the character Colonel Steve Austin and coined the phrase, "We can rebuild him"? If you missed this, half your brain is gone. I'm pretty sure you both know the answer. So let's get to these video game talk. Let's see, Dave, kick us off. We've got Fallout 4 anniversary.
Yes. Well, we had Fallout Day was on the 23rd. October 23rd, 2077, the day the bombs fall. But so lots of Fallout news. First of all, Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition remastered, and it will be coming out November 10th on your consoles, Steam accounts, etc., etc. So this is going to be the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition will be the base game, and the Automatron DLC add-on. Oh, sorry, and all 6 of the official ones: Automatron, Fall Harbor, Nuka World, and Workshop.
Nice.
Yep.
We'll have it all.
That is going to be great. And also coming out with Fallout World, Fallout 76 is going to be receiving a native Xbox patch soon.
So, okay.
Yep.
Right.
All right.
And
Now, is that going to make it compatible to play with the Xbox, or?
Hang on a second. Let me double check on that. I'm going off my own memory, which is not great. Now it's 76.
Oh no, she's a narc. Your son. She's a plant. She's a plant. Something ain't right.
Okay.
Tell mom I said hey.
Okay, here it is from IGN. Fallout 76 is finally getting native versions for Xbox Series X and S and PS5. So, if you remember, Fallout 76 came out in the PS4, Xbox One cycle. So, they were programmed for those machines and then ported over to the new generation. So, early 2026. We're finally getting native versions for Fallout 76 for Xbox and for XNES and PS5.
Nice. Quick shout out to DC Miss TJ. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Any thoughts on Fallout?
Yep.
Hell yeah, man. Like, listen, as far as I'm concerned, especially when it comes to Fallout 4, listen, my money is already lost. Okay.
Yeah.
That in itself, because I'm just with it. I'm not big on 76. Okay. Fallout 4 is great, but to me, Fallout 3. Now, if we could do something with Fallout 3 again, yeah, that's another one. But I'm looking forward to this anniversary edition. I want to get back into the mix, and surprisingly enough, I'll get it on the Xbox too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's Bethesda, man.
Now, this is a game that Saint himself has brought up before and has recommended, and today we're going to talk about it a little bit more. And that is Invincible Versus. Did it come out? What's the story with it?
It is currently closed alpha, which you can register for on invinciblevs.com.
Nice. And it looks like it's going to be for the Xbox PC, PS5, and on Steam.
Yeah, and believe it or not, the way this because these trailers and the gameplay trailers that I've seen, well, this is going to be bloodier, just as bloody, if anything, of Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
Except in the versus universe, and you're going to get fucked up in that place.
So the announced fighters that you can play are Invincible, Adam Eve, Bulletproof, Thula, Rexplode, Battle Beast, Omni-Man, and Cecil.
And Cecil.
Yeah.
Wasn't Cecil a robot, though? Yeah, I'm saying, wasn't Cecil a robot?
Spoilers.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Like, Cecil's my dude.
Yep.
Like, but yeah. So, can't wait to see the next season of Invincible, which will be season 4, I believe. Which they said. But this game is due to be out in 2026. So I'll probably be playing it. I'll definitely be playing it. Invincible is slowly becoming one of my favorite IPs. I didn't really know it or have a big hold of it when I
Oh.
was.
Shit. I'm just looking at Cecil's. One of the Global Defense Agency is a secret robot, but it's not Cecil. So in the game,
Cecil's the head guy.
Head guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Combat Insight, Limitless Tech, and Ruthless Reanimate Army. So he's going to be a support style character, summoning reinforcements.
Tony X Bologna asks, will they add DLC? That we don't know, but most likely.
Yeah.
DLC is the model for just about everything now. Instead of giving you a whole game. Anyway. Like it irritates me. I've had this discussion. Go check out the early episodes. I've had this discussion. I believe that I will most likely be getting the game just because I'm a huge Invincible fan.
Yeah.
Haven't got a shirt yet, but I will.
I don't know. DLC is good and it's kind of evil. You know, it is.
DLC is good if they actually give you a complete game and it adds on to the game. That's when DLC is good. But when they're giving you a partially finished game and the DLC is completing the game, that's when I have a problem.
Right. Yeah.
You should be selling me, if I'm going to pay $70-$80 for your game, you should be selling me the whole game up front. And then all the DLC is extra content. Extra characters for a fighting game. I get that. Like, you've already given me 40 characters from the time I opened the box, and now you're giving me another 10 WWE style. I don't mind WWE DLC because it's normally allowing you to update your roster to whatever the current roster is, because when they make the game, the current roster is what it is right now.
Well, yeah, but there's one thing though. But then we did just, and not to jump off the farm, but WWE just did sneak in some DLC.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, like I said, I'm glad I bought the pack I did with WWE 2K25 because it came with all the DLC. So all I had to do was download it when it came out instead of having to worry about paying an extra $10.
Except for one.
Which one was that?
You have to the one DLC is the John Cena one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and Invincible John Cena?
Yeah. No. I'm talking about you get the Thugonomics, you get Ron Cena from get Ron Cena with R-Truth. It's funny. And I swear to God, bro, he comes out and he almost does Roman Reigns. He almost holds up the one, and then he fucks up, and then he turns around and he does that. That shit is funny. But when John Cena comes out, the whole black thing, he puts the up behind him and he walks down. He looks mean. He looks like he looks pissed off. And when I used him, oh my God, bro, it was like he was dirtier than usual.
Nice.
Yeah.
So as Tony said, give me the whole game, wait a couple months, then give me DLC. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. But again, give me the like I said, the key point to that statement is give me the whole game initially. These systems are too powerful for you to be giving me half a games. You're giving me rushed games. Take as long as you need to finish the game. Just make it a good game. I'm more than willing to wait. So anyway, all right, Dave, this is another story from you. You're gonna have to let us know what's going on here. But Counter-Strike player economy is in a multi-billion-dollar free for all. Explain it to me.
Yes. Okay, so Counter-Strike, everyone's favorite proto multiplayer shoot 'em up. What happened is that the way that the upper tier items are distributed and acquired had a radical change. Now, before, it was the ever popular with CEOs microtransaction loot box experience. In other words, you spend in-game currency to get a key to open up a box that may or may not have an item that you want. With people grinding for keys, grinding for in-game currency, grinding for just or shelling out insane amounts of money. Like, for example, one of the most valuable items in Counter-Strike was a butterfly knife skin. A butterfly knife that the highest recorded value for sale on third party was $12,000. Someone shelled out $12,000 for a butterfly knife skin for Counter-Strike.
Yeah, that's too much. That's just too much.
Folks with too much money on their hands. Example number whatever.
Yeah, Mark 1257.
Right.
So,
what happened is that Counter-Strike 2 basically changed the way that these skins are gotten. They changed the trade-up contract system. In other words, you get something you don't want, you can trade it in for points toward another role. So update allows players to trade 5 covert red tier skins for guaranteed gold tier items such as knife or gloves. Previously, these items could only be acquired through extremely rare drops from cases, making them scarce and highly valuable. So all the third-party markets have collapsed. And this is not through, I think, Counter-Strike is Epic, I think. No, Valve.
Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Jay to the road. Thank you, sir, for the raid.
Thank you.
Shout out.
Yeah.
All right.
So most of these third-party vendors are, not to put spin on it, but they're basically Chinese fronts that work people. All that they do is they farm gold, in-game currency, and rare items, and then they sell those items on a marketplace outside of the game. So for real world money. Like, for example, something like, I think the last exchange for World of Warcraft gold on servers was something like $20 got you 1 million gold in WoW delivered.
That's insane.
Yeah. So people will do that. I've done it.
Yeah.
But I haven't done it to the extreme of paying $12,000 for a butterfly knife just for bragging rights.
He said a butterfly knife. Jesus.
They're barely getting the $29.99 out of me for Game Pass. They might not even be getting that. They definitely ain't getting no money out. And I definitely ain't paying no other person.
Yeah. I would do microtransactions, City of Heroes for costumes sets that were really spectacular. But no, I'm not gonna, spend, ludicrous amounts of money for one single item that it's like.
I personally hate games that require you to pay in order to advance yourself in the game.
Yeah.
Like to pay money. I utterly hate that. I don't mind games that make you grind.
Right.
You get to like I don't mind that.
But you can pay you can pay to skip the grind.
Yeah, but not necessarily that you can pay to skip the grind, but once you get to a certain point in the grind, it's like, well, you need this specific item to make it past this, and if you don't have it, like, yeah, but we'll sell, but the only way you can get it is to buy it from us for $5.99. Like, no.
Yeah,
If this is what I need to get through the game, then this should be just a part of the game, something I can grind and go get.
So, just to give you what the impact on the prices, according to a analytic company, prices for gold tier knives and gloves fell drastically, some categories dropping as much as 72% in value. Covert tier items, the value of covert tier covert red tier skins, which are now used to craft the higher tier frames, has skyrocketed.
Wow.
So one professional player lost an estimated $40,000 in value, and a trader lost $270,000 in inventory value in under 24 hours.
This is the danger of having games that allow you to do that, even in a community setting. It's a danger of it.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Get my money.
Nah, you can't do that to me.
All right. And last subject of the day, gentlemen, Dave, bring us home. The Sigil BTT officially fails its death saving throw. What does this title mean, sir?
Okay, this is in regards to online role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons and everything else, playing it over the internet rather than face-to-face, because we're now all antisocial. But VTTs are virtual tabletops. These are website platforms where they coordinate common features, and then you can bring in specific plugins. Like there's generally map features, chat features, dice rolling features, and other things are all common to role-playing games. And then what you do is you get the Dungeons and Dragons plugin to customize the experience. Or you get the Shadowrun or Cyberpunk 2077 or what have you. Yeah. And so that brings in the rules, the specific dice rolls, the character sheets, et cetera, et cetera. So Hasbro, in its effort to monetize the shit out of everything except for the actual IP itself, as well as gatekeeping, they want to develop their own virtual tabletop, because there's three main ones now. There's Roll20, there's Fantasy Grounds Unlimited, and there's Foundry. Those are the main virtual tabletops. So Hasbro doesn't have control over any of these. Even worse, they allow third-party Dungeons and Dragons material to be used on their platforms. So Hasbro tried to leverage the D&D brand name into a virtual tabletop system that they called Sigil, and the player base ain't having it, because they're trying to, like I said, proprietize, monetize, and cut out the entire third-party printing industry that has supported Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition since it came out, even in its creation. If you look at the original 5th edition rulebooks, about half of them, the rulebooks, Player's Handbook, DM's Guide, Monster Manual, Adventures, half of them were written not by Wizards of the Coast, but by third-party publishers like Kobold, Sasquatch, Green Ronin, that had been granted the license to write these, and getting a nice chunk of change in exchange for their effort. So they got subcontracted. Well, a lot of these companies have gone on to create material for 5e, but Hasbro is not seeing a cent of that material. Hasbro is upset, so Hasbro doesn't want to allow them into their walled dungeon.
Wow.
Okay. Hasbro sued Barrington Industries, which is the parent company for Critical Role, for millions of dollars because they are not getting any slice of Critical Role merchandise or of the profit of the Vox Machina. Yes, this literally happened. Okay, you got your number one reason why D&D is an online phenomenon in Critical Role, why it's more popular than it's ever been before, and you're going to sue your brand ambassador, who has not asked for a cent from you guys in compensation.
That's insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
That's not cool.
so this is more, this is more same shit, different day from the Hasbro C-suite. It was a project that really only benefited the bottom line and wasn't going to benefit the players. And the players are like, Hasbro is still dealing with the fact that it's like, no, you have to buy the new edition of Dungeons and Dragons. No, I don't. I've got literally 7 different editions of Dungeons and Dragons in my library. I can pick and choose from. I don't need to buy your latest and
Don't
greatest.
need yours, right?
I don't need you. Okay.
But if you want all the new rules,
No, I don't. So I've already got rules coming out my feet.
what's up, Kitty Bradshaw? Thanks for tapping in.
Hey, Kitty, how you doing? How you doing?
While we're on the subject of Dungeons and Dragons, a rare bright spot from Wizards of the Coast. There's a social media post that just hit a couple days ago, where everyone's favorite Hollywood superstar D&D nerd, Joe Manganiello.
Yes. He's even made appearances on The Big Bang Theory.
The dude who chose Dungeons and Dragons and his curated wine cellar game room over being married to Sofia Vergara.
Oh my goodness.
That's how committed the dude is. Okay. But he was at Wizards of the Coast headquarters up in, they're not in Seattle proper. They may actually be in Redmond, same as Microsoft.
Yeah.
He was photographed at Wizards of the Coast headquarters with legendary TSR D&D creators Tracy Hickman and Margaret White, better known in gaming fandom as the creators of the Dragonlance world.
Right on.
And they are teasing a project. Joe has said he's tried to attach himself to a live-action Dragonlance project for easily since the pandemic hit.
Wow.
Okay. And Hasbro has been completely, for whatever reason, reluctant to tap into their wealth. They literally have at least 100 printed novels in their library related to Dungeons and Dragons, with multiple popular series like Dragonlance, like the Drizzt, the Ranger stories, and they have not wanted to monetize these at all. By we got as good as Honor Amongst Thieves were. It was mid compared to what they had already written, already at their disposal, all ready to go, and that the fans have been clamoring for literal decades. So the photograph that was shared sparking new rumors that there is going to be a live-action Dragonlance project coming and to be announced relatively soon.
What's funny is you said Dragonlance, and it brought my memory back to another book that I read during the same time that I discovered Interview with a Vampire, which was a book called Dragon Riders of Pain.
Right.
By Anne
Oh my
McCabe.
God.
Yeah,
That's been like 8
Yeah.
man. Ooh, that's kind of
that's been in development hell for longer than we've been alive, gentlemen.
Really? They've been wanting to do that for that long, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I am not exaggerating by much, and it just never keeps coming together. It's
Somebody in Hollywood make it happen.
Yeah, Dragon Riders and Elf Quests are the two major fantasy IPs that just can't seem to get something going for them. Despite fan demand.
After so many years, we got Wheel of Time. And Jamil was happy about that. So
Did we?
Yeah, and no. Jamil was like,
he was the first.
He expressed his dislike. He's like, what the fuck is this? Like, they're not. I mean, he listen. He pointed that shit out to me, and the shit was hilarious.
I was out after the first episode when my favorite character in Wheel of Time, Perrin, who's already going to spend the series dealing with a lot of mental instability from, oh crap, I've got wolves in my head now. Yeah, let's heap some more emotional trauma on him by giving him a wife that he never had and having her die horribly in front of him.
Oh my God. That's no, I'm good.
Okay.
That's DC Comics. That's Maxwell Lord shooting Ted Cord in the head level of beat up on the sympathetic guy.
That's insane. All right, gentlemen.
Just real quick, ladies and gentlemen, for you guys out there that are doing the retro games, please check out Double Dragon Revive. It is decent.
It is decent.
Yeah, it is decent. No, it's really. I kind of like the old school style is kind of like the side scroller thing, but it kind of does a little 3D thing to it.
Yeah,
and a lot of people are actually like saying fuck this game, but it's actually pretty good, man. Like I've gotten a little bit got a little taste of fun out of it, but you know how they always do these Revive games.
You gotta work on your hype man skills there, bud.
No, I have never been the hype dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool, calm, and collected. I'm the cool asshole in this crew. Come on now.
All right, gentlemen. So let's probe those brains one more time.
Yeah.
70s sci-fi television show featured a character by the name of Colonel Steve Austin and coined the phrase "We can rebuild him."
This is you,
the $6 million man. Come on now. Based on the book Cyborg.
Based on the book Cyborg. That is correct. And that answer and win for you guys will take. Where can we find you next? For these two gentlemen and myself, tell you where you can find us on this lovely network. Next, why don't you kick us off, Rim Scryer?
Okay, I will be back on night shift tonight, Pacific, midnight Pacific, till whenever I start falling asleep again. But tonight it's going to be back to Horizon Zero Dawn as we're starting to slowly wind things up there. I'm probably going to be finished with it definitely by the end of the year. Might be done with it by the end of November. We'll see.
All right. Saint, or Agent K28, where can we find you next?
I will be doing a little something tonight, just something real short, because there's some songs out there that I need to drop. Plus, I will be running a little bit of the Double Dragon Revive, and then of course Monday and Tuesday, NVT Deuce, and then Now versus Then. So, we getting busy. We got some new music coming, and we got a couple of interviews that are gonna shake the foundation, ladies and gentlemen. Watch us.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Me, as usual, you can catch me later on tonight and on The Classroom with the one and only O'Malley. It is Suave's week off. So join us for what should be a good time. O'Malley always brings it, not only with the serious sports talk, but also with the ha-ha funnies. So please be sure to listen in. And you can catch this on audio replay Thursday at 3:20 on our Live 365 radio network, which has gotten a shiny new look. If you guys notice, everything's got new logos and everything. Woohoo! I'll say, you rating us out, sir?
Yes, I am. We got to send you to Ronzi.
So Ronzi, man. Now, speaking of raids, Saint, did you find out who all raided me last night? Because
I did not. And I listen. I was not on sleep hour time.
Yeah, I got like 2 or 3 raids last night from different people, and I'm just trying to remember who they were because I want to give. I know some were regular, some were new. We got some new subscriptions out of it. So if you rated us Saturday night during night shift while I was in Fallout 76's Appalachia, we appreciate the hell out of you. I apologize for not remembering who we owe in there. I don't control the analytics of the Twitch. That's gentleman in the center. So we will get you guys your credit due, and we will hit you guys back up because we love our extended family.
Yeah, we do.
Have a great evening yourself.
All right.
Appreciate you.
No doubt.
Peace.
That